Bloody Tomb of the Spider Queen. We're going to take things a little bit slower here with Cursed Hollow coming in. Very familiar map choices, Mr. Zoyas. Our second best of three is about to be underway. Kinguin and Puszek with, I believe, Kinguin up 1-0 now in the series.
You're correct, sir, and the draft has started. Puszek opening up with that Jaina ban. Wanting to get rid of that right out the gates. Now, how will Kinguin react? Probably with that Zeratul ban. It's... Oh, wait, Zeratul went fully unpicked on ban last game, right?
He was the second round ban.
He was the second round ban, that's right. I forgot about that.
He wasn't a big priority at all. In fact, it was the first pick, Leoric, that kind of set the whole swing of things.
Yeah, Leoric really, EU scene really likes Leoric right now. Seeing a lot of double warrior coming out from them. Surprised we haven't seen any Abathur prioritization, but there it is, the ban from Abathur going on, as I say it. Immediately taking that option away from Puszek because Abathur Leoric, man, it is obnoxious to deal with.
So if it is going to be a first pick Leoric from Puszek here, the Abathur ban is basically saying that, well, we can't pick it in our first two, and that's the only picks that Kinguin is going to get. Whereas we have two more after this, potential first pick. Even if it's a Zeratul first pick, like the Abathur ban is basically limiting the options for the second round picks from Puszek and saying, Kinguin just don't want to deal with it whatsoever. They know they're giving up the Zeratul, they know they're giving up the Leoric, but either way, you put a hat on either of those guys, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, then Zeratul will be first picked by Puszek, giving Kinguin the option of Leoric and probably Zagara. The meta is starting to shift across the regions, though, so I don't know exactly where that is standing. We haven't seen Zagara play today yet, and she was a popular.
She was the first ban last game. We didn't even see her hide nor tell in the first game series, but I would not be surprised to see her picked up here. The creep spread, her ability to solo lane and just lock it down, even put it into a push comp. She's very versatile right now.
Whenever the VP does go down, if Zagara's not in it, you can counter Ma to, buy some time. She is very squishy, though, so if Zeratul does end up diving on her, it can be scary, but Team Kinguin gonna lock in that Leoric, having a clear understanding of what they want to do that. They might go with a Malfurion early on if they plan on running that double support again, or the double warrior again. They can lock in their Murden early on as well. A lot of options on the table here for Kinguin.
I would definitely not be adverse to the Zagara, as previously mentioned. If they do want to solidify their double warrior early, I think that would be a little strange. But if they're afraid of kind of getting counterpicked for it, could definitely do it. But no, it would be the Kael'thas. Kael'thas was a ban last game.
Interesting to see Kael'thas prioritized this early on in the EU. That's not something you see too often from what I've experienced. Usually picked later on in the draft. Sometimes Kael'thas goes straight through the draft, giving up a lot here. Puszek has a lot of great options now. We do see it run sometimes, but there is an issue that pops up a lot when you have both Zeratul and Zagara on your team. Mm-hmm. You can do a lot of overlaps with the VP, the Ma. There's not a lot of value that happens when you mess up those combos. So making sure that they do end up getting that potential. If they do end up going with Zagara, they have to be very, very mindful of that because we've seen it explode in teams' faces before.
Absolutely. So will we see that here? Will it be a different priority coming up from Puszek? If I had to guess, it would be a warrior support this round because, again, you want to make sure that you get that frontliner, especially knowing that Leoric and Kael'thas are coming in. You're going to need a good crew to handle that, and you can't really afford, because Puszek is not going to get any more picks until the next two from Kinguin, but there's also two bans coming into it. So if I had to guess, it should be a warrior support coming in.
Yeah, I would not be too surprised by that either. They're going into their time pool now, though. We do have Murden still
Quite
open.
Yeah.
Joanna is still open as well. A lot of teams like to put an early. If you're not going double warrior, we're seeing a lot of teams early prioritize that Joanna. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that, as well as grabbing that early support. Let's see what they end up wanting to do. As for damages, Wallace still on the table. We're starting to see a bit of a resurgence of her being picked up, grabbing her early on to avoid that ban. Might be something that Puszek wants to do as well. There's so many options right now with this draft.
I think Sylvanas is basically not played in NA. I think she's still pretty much played in every other region, at least that I've seen.
We saw Sylvanas resurgence last night in Kings of the Storm, but you're right. Okay. Outside of that, Sylvanas has not been.
We get Zuna. Zuna
Zuna.
Sylvanas? Yeah.
Zuna, and Complexity was running her as well.
Okay.
So we did see the resurgence of her fitting really well into the triple range compositions.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Puszek coming in, they're saying Tyrael, so there's, well, at least one warrior will be their support. They are down to 8 seconds of pool time. This decision has really cost them, because going into this, they have to know exactly what they want. They need to be able to respond very quickly, but it's not going to be a support. It will actually be a Falstad.
This is old school 2-arc style composition here. Puszek was running. You VP the backline, you Judgment Hinterlands Blast whoever's left outside of it, and you try and just go for a blow up style composition. And that is what they're going to be looking to do onto Kael'thas. And not eliminating him from the fight right out the get go. You VP the healer and you just blow someone up. Kinguin. The fact that this was shown so early to them, this gives Kinguin a lot to do, like to prepare for it. Going double warrior is definitely a must here. They're not going to be able to blow up, Muradin, Leoric, or anything like that. And getting a really good healer for that as well. Uther would be great for Kinguin. Locking in that Uther, getting the Divine Shield in time to save his teammate, getting the cleanse out. The showing this early might be a mistake from Puszek.
But at the same time, what could Kinguin possibly prioritize for a ban? I mean, they already know what kind of combos coming out of that. So what other aspect can they punish? They see the Tyrael. That could, a solo tank Tyrael is not as successful as a double tank Tyrael. So could they actually try to punish that? For example, ban out the Joanna. They take a Mirrored in this pick round, something like that. Or would they actually try to, ban out the support coming forward?
I think the support ban would be best. I don't know. Double tank with this composition wouldn't be the best. It would lack too much damage. It would lack damage. Like you'd have the initial burst with Falstad Zeratul, and then you'd have no damage outside of that. So I would really like to see like a Malfurion ban here, because either way, Team Kinguin wants a burst healer. You want Rhaegar or Uther. Unless they're going, I could see all three working out here. I prefer the support ban, and I do end up going for the Rhaegar.
Yeah, okay, so it is going to be the support ban, Zoya on top of things. The reason that we look to your insight. The Uther ban, though, it's kind of expected at this point.
So definitely, Kinguin's going to be looking like... So, Puszek's mindset is we don't want them to have Uther or Rhaegar because, we want to blow them up. So they're forcing them on the Malfurion. But by doing this, they are going to force themselves to play Lili, which I don't know if Puszek really cares about or not. So we should see a Malfurion picked here 100% by Kinguin. I am expecting like Malf Muradin.
Yeah, the Mouth Murder and Mouth Johanna.
Tassadar. Okay. I actually like this too.
They're okay with either of those tanks. It's, as you said, double warrior for Puszek might not be enough damage to accomplish the goal overall. So if they're not expecting it, they're still going to have a choice of warrior for that last pick. So prioritizing out the Tassadar here, well, we'll have to see if those shields can actually combo the Crispy Taco or not.
The Crispy Taco.
Yep. I love it.
I love it. Puszek running out of time. Both teams have exhausted their time pool here, trying to figure out exactly what they want here. Puszek has to pick within the next 16 seconds, and we'll see what they want to lock in as their healer and potential last damage or tank. Now, of course, Lili is going to be on the table here. That's really the only support left. As for their last man, I think Vala would pick would be just good, good at extra damage here. If they go double warrior, I would like it to be a new Barak. I don't think Muradin really... if they go Muradin, I don't think they have enough damage to get a kill.
No, it would definitely... the new Barak Dream Team, because that's the engage. The Judgment into the Burrow, that's kind of the big thing that a lot of teams do like to execute. You're right.
Well, they're down to a very few seconds here. 15 left on the table for Puszek. What is their last pick going to be? Maybe
no
it's Rondo.
Yeah,
Sylvanas is still on the table too. It's going to be Zagara. Man, I forgot about her. It will be the
Zag. Wow,
forgot about her. It's so you have to be really careful with this.
Yeah, we kind of wrote it off. It's just like if you really do want to run this combo, you have to be very in sync with your ultimates. And as that last pick coming in, that's not really going to be helping towards the burst situation. But again, it's big zone control, right? VP and Maw can lead with good execution to just absolute dominance in some of these team fights.
Okay, so for Kinguin, I would like if they go Muradin, they're going to lose the early game. It's just they don't have the damage. When KT doesn't miss power to 16.
Johanna.
They would be even worse.
Johanna at least can wave clear, and it will be Johanna.
She can get the wave clear, but I was mainly referring to early game team fights.
Right, right.
Until KT gets 16, you don't have the best damage on the field. So Puszek, this is a tough game for them to win, but as long as they can get the early game, right? They're going to struggle securing those kills early on. Or they have to win the early game by getting those kills early on. If we get to the late game point, Malfurion's going to have Ice Block. Tassadar, with double E build, super hard to kill. Joanna, Leoric, of course, both warriors, so hard for them to be blown up. The only kill target, of course, is KT. And as long as KT's positioned well, a flamethrower in the back line, it's going to be hard to get to him.
Yeah, wow. So the single tank Tyrael, I mean, as I said a little bit earlier, the success rates when he's the only tank aren't as high when he's the double, but they are really going to be looking for this engage heavy comp from Puszek. And as you said, that early game is going to be rough for Kinguin. But, the last round, it was, a veritable blow for blow despite some of the more passive play from the teams. So coming into this one, will these tributes kind of be the deciding factor? Will that kind of force an aggression from one side?
It's going to be tough. It's... the early game definitely Puszek, it's Zeratul, right? We're kind of riding off Puszek. They have Zeratul, that is a terrifying threat always. The damage comes out. There are multiple squishies that can get bursted down pretty hard. It's just they have to win the early game hard. They have to snowball it in their favor, or Kinguin is just going to be indestructible. This is an unkillable comp. And once you get that 16, Kael'thas can, we've seen it time and time again. We saw a game, Cloud9 Maelstrom versus Tempo Storm, where Kael'thas did 170,000 damage.
Jeez.
That is just absurd to me.
That's a ludicrous amount of damage.
Yeah, and if they have to win the early game, and with this composition, they definitely can.
All right, well, it's up to the teams to kind of make these comps work at this point. Something to be said, as you said, unkillable. Tassadar, Leoric, Malfurion, yeah, he can definitely be bullied a little bit earlier. Johanna, probably not, especially with that unstoppable going forward. But, yeah, I'm kind of curious what kind of talents we're going to see out of Tassadar. Is he going to be more of a support, more of a bruiser, just straight out damage? Could he be straight out poke? He can really delay some of these tributes if he needs to.
Yeah, it can for sure. I'm curious to see as well. We've seen lots of different builds popping up now. But the game is starting, Sean. We're going into game number 2 right now. It will be Curse Solo again. The tribute fights are going to be very, very important here. We have, especially with the Zagara, if you get an early curse here, pushing with that tribute or pushing with that with Zagara is going to be so easy.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Would this be a solo Zagara then? You think early?
I think so. Yeah, I think it will be.
I mean, the Zeratul roam means we would have to have 2 solo lanes. So put
it could
Tyrael,
be
Zagara.
Lili, Zag, Falstad in a lane. But
I think it would be Lili Falstad personally.
Yeah. Well, we do have an insta pause, as it will be loading into the game here. Narakla is lagging again, but
right, as long as he figures it out, it's all good. All good.
Yep, we're good. It will be Team Kinguin on the left-hand side of the map, though. We'll get those introductions going in just a second here, as everyone is loading in. Excuse me, no, it's Puszek on the left. I am completely wrong. Completely wrong. Puszek on the left.
One of these days, though, yeah.
The colors, man. The colors always trip me up. And I'm excited for this game, man. We have really cool compositions here. Zeratul being very strong. Last week in the current meta, we've been seeing him get played a lot more, and it's cool to see that play.
Yeah, Zagara, Zeratul, Nazeebo, Jaina, region to region, there are those specific favorites, but the overall theme doesn't really change too much when it comes to who's overpowered right now. Perhaps different in Korea. I haven't actually really gotten to see a ton of their games, but China, Copa America, the SEA region, the Australian regions, Zagara, Tassadar, Nazeebos, Zeratul's, Jainas, they're very strong in every region. Yeah,
really powerful heroes. it's cool to see that is like a stable factor across all the regions. Like every region has its own meta, right? But those heroes are the same across all of them. Even in China and Korea, you see the same 3 to 4 picks and prioritize across the region. So at least at least every scene someone has a clue, right? There's not one that's just like, what are you doing? Completely. Well, there's some scenes that do that, but
I remember like early China, just like Gazlowe, Abathur, Murky on one side. And you're just like, what? What is this? That was something, I'll tell you that, back in those days. But the metas have really evolved, and now coming into it, of course, by the time we do get to the LAN portions for the deciding factors of BlizzCons, MGAs, WCAs going forward, there's going to be Monk. There's going to be whoever else is kind of on the schedule past that. Like
a new battleground
that we know of
as well.
I think Monk. Right, there's supposed to be another battleground coming into that.
Yeah, like
we haven't heard too much about that, have we?
Yeah. It's no teasers, no pictures. All we were teased about was Battlefield of Eternity, thematically wise. But of course, it will be the Diablo thing. But we're in the game now. We are completely loaded in. On the left-hand side of the map, it's going to be Puszek, Kubicek, Uberim, Go Terror, Kreku, and Zoof. Rounding out that team. On the right, it's going to be up 1-0. Kinguin, Invidium, Murok, Snow, Nebsy, and Gurdam Herd.
Gurdam Herd. I always think
Gurdam
Gundam.
Herd.
I always think he's a Gundam, especially if he's playing Tassadar. But no, today he's going to be on that Malfurion, so that's all right. Seasoned Marksman coming up from Zeroto from Puszek. Looks like Smite Evil or Effect Evil. Purge Evil, thank you. Something evil. And Power Throw there from the Falstad, so it's not going to be an auto-attack build this round.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing the Fell Enthusiast on Kel'Thas, which is a very stylistic pick. Very few teams are going that over Mana Addict, but Kel'Thas wanting to prioritize the healing in this game, which makes sense against his blow-up slot composition. Why not try and make sure you live through every bit of damage, and of course reanimation on Leoric, which has become a staple here. And again, another game where we do see that Scouting Drone is taking on Malf.
Well, the Scouting Drone, it's great for information, but you give up the Moonburn. And Moonburn has kind of become a very big staple, at least in the NA side of things.
Yeah, it allows you to just sustain better, especially in a map that you want to be landing in now. It will be a 3 versus 2 in there in the bottom lane. We have Nebsy, Snow, and Gurdam Herd here in the bottom lane for Kinguin. Of course, Roof and Kreku in the bottom lane for Puszek. And these guys are doing a good job of just shutting down the Zagara push. We have Kubicek versus Nvidia in the top lane. And in that mid lane, we have Uberim versus Goterra versus Nurok. It looks like it's going to be a roaming Tyrael. It makes sense to try and keep Uberim in lanes as much as possible because he's going that seasoned marksman. It looks like he'll be running down to try and get some more stacks, but doesn't get there in time.
So you were right about the Lily Zagara. I was actually expecting to see Lily Falstad put Zagara off in a lane, but so far, the duels going back and forth, they haven't been terrible. What did the Tassadar get for level 1? Is that the mana return, or is that going to be the range?
That is going to be mana return. He did get a Psi infusion to just keep his sustain up, which is going to be the name of the game for this composition, right? They're not going to burst anyone down with KT Tassadar, right? They're definitely going to be going for the line fight. So I definitely do like the argument for the range can be made as well because Kel'Thas can be poking from so far back. You're going with Tassadar near KT to shield him, but also just being able to cast more spells is also always a good thing as well.
Well, if it was going to be range, I was going to make a little bit of an argument for Team Kinguin looking for a little bit of a delay. A poke and soak. You keep him in lane, you just throw him and Malfurion just to keep hitting people over the wall. But since it's not going to be that, it does look like a little bit more of a standard thing. So Team Kinguin, it's going to be rough here, especially this early on.
There will be Mental Acuity taking that forward here for Tassadar, which has become the norm. Malon's race on Malfurion for just that extra range. And just everything about right now about what Kinguin is doing is it just screams safe to me. Right, you get the Heart and Bones, as we do see First Blood does get out. Joanna was going to be killed up here, showing that burst potential with that Zeratul. Even the Joanna can go down on Kinguin's side, and then. But everything about Kinguin's talents, everything about their composition is we want to outlive you and then win the poke war.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that will come to pass. Neb's up into that top. Joanna, as soon as that tribute spawned, she went straight for the watchtower. Couldn't figure out why. In the collapse, put 3 of Puszek against them, but they're not going to win this tribute now.
Yeah, but they're in a rough spot here. But Malfurion ends up actually living here, and then Living Mom doing Flame Trap doing a lot of damage. They're Kreku in the back trying to loot it. Malfurion is rejoining the fight after tapping well. Taskar versus Falstad still duking out in the top lane, but this fight here is going to go on for a while. Good Moonfire from Gurnham Herd to delay that tribute cap, and great poke coming out to try and push themselves, just further and further down. Lili is getting very in this fight. They're going to have to give this up soon. We do see that Gotair does delay it one more time. Nurk trying his best. There's just so much poke coming out from both sides. You have, the poke from Zagara, which she has some of the best delays in the game. Of course, you have Tyrael as well with that Eldarin's Might. And we do see Zeratul coming up from the flank right now. Does go straight onto Snow. He is very and out of mana. Nebzy's getting low as well. Gurnham Herd doesn't have the heals to keep this up, and it will be the death of Zeratul, though. A great collapse here despite everyone being so low. There's the Wraith Lock. Gurnham Herd doing the best he can to stall out this fight as everyone goes to tap well. He's got Moonfire. He's got great poke. Snow is staying here as well. Nurek getting healed up there. This fight is lasting a long time. 7 first acquired here, though, by Puszek. They're going to keep up the chase here. Fall through was taken. Battle momentum. Standard talents out the board, but Kreku going to end up locking in that tribute for Puszek.
Right, so I mean, Puszek did actually pick up the tribute by the end of it. That's, was my prediction. It took a heck of a long time to do it. The level 7 from both sides, Zoya, but still going back and forth. The only reason Ubrim died on that Zeratul because he failed Link. It was a failed Link. He tried to get over the wall. He wasn't close enough. That's the only reason Zeratul kind of went down. But despite that, Puszek, first tribute in their pocket.
Then we're going to see Rapid Incubation taken. Zagara seemed to be pretty split on what talent to take at 7. We do see either Battle Mental or that taken in its place. And we will be going for the more sustained fight here from the Zagara here to try to get better push. This lasts longer in fights as well. We will see the Lightning Serpent build as well coming out from Lili. I'm not going for the blind build. Of course, you don't really like Taskars who you need blinds against, kind of. Yeah. But, again, this is a more long, drawn-out fight. So I definitely like the current build for Lili as well.
Yeah, mana on the Psystorm and now the static charge there from the Tassadar as well. I'm curious to see if it will be a second strike by the time we hit 16 and the shrink ray at 13 there as well. I think he's the only one that could probably take it for his team. And, what's a great counter to Zeratul? Well, shrink ray.
Yeah, also killing him is really good, as that did just happen, as Zeratul was killed by just a really good combination, catching him out of position and bursting him down. That's going to be a guaranteed tribute going over to Kinguin. Experience is not very far ahead for Puszek right now. Kinguin. Tassar is just like, Invidium is just, I'm going to push this lane. That is what his plan is. He's going to shove it as hard as he can. He's already got one of the towers, and he's staying up here for as long as he can. Storms, of course, with that mana return, he's able to keep up that sustain as well, just trying to get his team 10, because he knows that his team doesn't win the game until he gets 16, right? And I think everything that Kinguin's doing right now is really smart.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I mean, they were able to pick up not only the first Zeratul kill, but now the second one. They were able to get that tribute, so they're not 0-2, they're not facing a curse. Sure, they lost out a little bit of pressure in that bottom lane, but now they're the ones reapplying it here as well. And Invidium hasn't even left that top this entire time. The soak has been absolutely real from him, and now neck and neck in that experience.
Well, they do end up collapsing on this tribute. 10 is here for both teams, and we're going to see how it's going to play out. Will Puszek play this right with their VP Judgment combo? They want to blow up someone, as well as they do have that mob for extra. They can take someone out of the fight for a long time if they combo it right. You can eliminate Malfurion for a long time. Ubrim getting caught again. Nurk is full chase. He does end up blinking up there. The Phoenix does go out. Bailing's doing some decent amount of splash damage. The fight's still happening, though. Ubrim going for a flake, but the Oracle spam from Tassar is keeping Ubrim out for such a long time. But the poke really isn't coming out just yet from Kinguin, as they are, everyone's being topped off completely by Lili. Gotair is going for the tribute. Here comes the clap. There is the Malfurion, and big Maw, 4-man Maw is going to help Gotair secure that tribute. Nebzy gets judged, but there's a Hinterland Blast. Oh, but the Void Prism that completely negates the damage of that. Gurnham Herd is completely retreating right now. 4 versus 5 right now. It looks like they're trying to run away as well as they can. Tassadar is in danger here. Snow getting slowed by the Zeratul Lili combo, but he will end up living just barely. He does end up tapping that well. Wow, that Hinterlands Blast did nothing, Sean.
And, this goes back to the talks we had. We talked a lot about Zagara with the Maw and the VP and screwing that up. But yeah, there is another component to this one, and that's the Hinterlands. I thought, there's so much potential for a big Maw there, and she finally did hit that 3-man Maw. Nebzy died, and then just immediately, for whatever reason, we VP'd when you shouldn't, because the Maw is a great setup there for that Hinterlands, and we're going to have to see if that happens 2 or 3 more times, you're going to see a big swing for Kinguin.
Well, Narak collapsing here onto Zuff in the bottom lane. The Phoenix goes out. There's a condemn. The slow is going to be enough to secure the kill on the leader, but here comes Zeratul is going to secure the kill on the Skeleton King, and they're body blocking Joanna as well as they can. Of course, with the Unstoppable, still a very tanky hero. Snow trying to turn around. Nebsy getting really low. Zeratul taking a lot of damage. He's going to go down to the Living Bomb, so a 1-for-1 trade at the same time. Zeratul, or 1-for-1 trade, or 2-for-1 rather, because Lily died at the very start of that. At the top lane, it will be Invitationals and Gurdam her fighting for this tribute, and Kel'Thas is going to fall as well on the bottom. Craigie is going to spawn res though. Nurok and that Skeleton King is going to secure the kill for on Zagara. Talk about staggered deaths as Kubicek flies into the top to delay her. There comes out the Shintoland Splash Shock-and-Awe combo. It's going Judgment Shock-and-Awe combo. It's going to take down him immediately, but now Falstad is out of position. Barrel Roll is down. Archon tries to secure the kill. One more Storm should be able to do it. He's not in range though, but Nurk comes up from the bottom and is going to secure that kill. Just death after death after death, being so staggered, and Gotair is going to try and delay this, but he's being collapsed upon by Nurk and Nvidia. But here comes Ubrim going straight on the Nebsy. Gotair, don't know if he's got Eldarin's Might. He is going to be able to get out of there, but now Zeratul is stalling out the tribute. Does he have one more delay? He is being zoned out here, and it will end up going to Kinguin.
Yeah, it was staggered deaths abound in 2 separate lanes. Lily, when she did come back up, she didn't go top. She did not go for this tribute. This was basically the biggest poke and soak that Puszek was trying to accomplish by the end of it. Lily was in the bottom lane this entire time, which did give them a bit of an edge experience-wise, but now we're at, that breaking point. We are going to have a curse next tribute, do or die. So any kind of more staggering past this, and this is going to finally suffer a lot of damage from either side.
A lot of good power spikes coming out here at level 13. We do get the Wormhole from Zeratul, allowing him to be more aggressive and dumpster out that damage better. But we also have Flamethrower on Kel'Thas. It doesn't get the Ignite just yet, so his super damage isn't there. But he's able to poke from so far back, and we do see an engage going down on Zagara. Maul was forced to be used, but here comes the Invidium from above, gets the Shrink Ray, and the Storm has to use that Phase Shift. Nurk comes in with the Rate Walk, going straight onto the backline to slow down him. The March of the Black King does end up connecting. Jugs comes out. It's going to keep him alive. Before now, VP in the backline doing a lot. Now Nurk is overextended. There's no heals just yet from Malfurion. He hasn't popped that Tranquility. Invidium getting really low. That's going to be the death of Nurk, and that's going to be a big Hinterlands blast, sending 3 people down that chokehold. That's the value of Falstad on this map, and finally we're seeing that Tranquility. Going to try and keep him on Snow up, but there comes Uberin blinking in, doing a lot of damage. The Gravity Lapse comes out to try and turn around the damage, but the Body Block is happening. Ice Block is used, but that's going to be a dead Malfurion. A 4-for-0 trade, and that is going to be a curse going over to Puszek.
I gotta say, Puszek, sure, they just juggled a heck of a lot of death, and it didn't look that great, but my, oh my, that small little death area just played so very well into so many of their abilities. I mean, the great mod to set up for Kraku, and past that, Banelings hitting a lot of people, the Hinterlands Blast hitting a lot of people, with nothing to stop the Jugs there by the end of it as well, with Johanna down, and the Kel'Thas nowhere even in range. It's just... everything came together in those small little enclosed areas, and the team for it, Puszek, definitely really showing it good there.
Snow winning a very close fight there against Falstad, had 37 HP when it was over. That was just blow for blow, very close trade. 16, of course, being here. You got the double bombs, blood for blood, the serpent sidekick. Not seeing 2-for-1. It's so weird to me. You would want to go for that extra healing, especially against the Kel'Thas, but we do see Elder's Might going to get him out of there, as well as Wraith Block, both teams disengaging. As long as no keeps fall here, though, Kinguin's not out of this. They get the huge power spike at 16 for Kel'Thas, and they can, but still, man, the execution, at least if they execute like they did in the last fight, Puszek, they're going to keep winning fights. The VP was perfect, they isolated a target, and they blew it up.
Invidium as well is, with the Tasker, that mental acuity, he has been doing a lot of zone work up against that Zeratul coming into this. Now he has that Shrink Ray, he's going to go for the double, almost guaranteed at level 16 he's going to get the static charge. So not only is Kel'Thas going to get that big value, but now with that bigger value on Kel'Thas and the current value of Invidium and that, mental acuity and that Oracle, that could really lead into some very quick and dead Zeratuls.
It's going to be a boss going over to both teams here as they are retreating right now. Cleanse used by Malfurion here, but it's not going to be up if they decide to go for the Judgment. Nurok having to back out as well. 16 so close here for Kinguin. They're desperately wanting to get it. They're going to go defend against their boss, though. But Puszek desperately looking for a pick. They're going to be counter-engaging here in the mid lane. Nurok going to try and dissuade them from doing so. 16 so close. They just want it so very badly. The boss on the top will get that fort, but it's still a few seconds away. They're not going to have 16 just yet.
Yeah, but with the fort going down, I mean, they know it's coming, and not defending it from Puszek, I think is a brilliant idea because there's an entire fort, there's an entire tower. It's going to be loading into it. At best, this golem's only going to get that gate at the keep. Whereas at the same time, Puszek, they already have now gotten the gate there on that mid. The bottom has already pushed in very, very hard there as well. So Puszek kind of adding bigger advantages, using their map presence, using the fact that they had a fort in that top lane in order to try to solidify this race to 20 because that's the next big objective for them.
Well, 16 is here. Of course, it will be Second Strike. We got Consume Vitality, Tenacious Roots, Blessed Hammer, and Ignite, and they are starting to get aggressive out on this map. They do catch Goterra. They dismount him. The Shrink Ray comes out. The Eldarin's Might does cap him, but there is the Gravity Lapse. Goterra getting really, really low here. Lili here to heal him up. That was a lot of damage coming out really quick. That was Phoenix, but that's just it. And now they are taking the Knights on the side of Puszek, but they're being caught a little bit off guard. Snow does end up connecting a Flame Strike there to dismount Goterra, but now they're going straight onto him, and now they're clumped up in this scary narrow passageway. Again, it's Maw Field, it's Void Prison Field. So much can come out very quickly, and they're playing so scared right now. Nurk having to use Wraith Walk to end up getting out of there. Great Flame Strikes and Storms coming out though. Goterra getting really low. Jugs has been popped. VP comes out, or Maw does come out, but Hinterland's Blast does not connect with anyone here. We haven't even seen Tranquility yet. This is looking like a great fight as it is just now popped here for Kinguin. VP goes in the back line. They'll double warrior in the front line, taking a lot of damage. They do blow up Killfoss in the back. Good job from Goterra and Ubrim to secure that kill. Now Joanna is going to fall, and Nurok is down as well. Was suddenly a great fight for Kinguin. It's just a great, beautiful flank there from Zeratul and Tyrael to secure more kills. And Vidium's going to fall as well. Grinamherd is in a terrible spot. He's definitely not getting away as he gets slowed by Ubrim and the double bombs, and that is going to be a full wipe in favor of Puszek.
Now, I think you called it at the very beginning. This is a great place for Moz, for VPs, for the Hinterlands. I'm a little surprised that Puszek, basically did nothing with the Hinterlands, but, getting them trapped in that small little area. Team Kinguin, oh my goodness, they were just totally caught off guard on that one. Huge props right there to Puszek. With that wipe, they pick up the tribute. They're very close to 20 by the end of this as well, and now they have full map control going back into this as well. It's just, that was a beautiful play for that flank from Puszek.
Yeah, it's just a real mistake from Kinguin to be that far aggressive on the map. They're not going to win a fight in a choke like that. Even with the circumstances seeming to go their way, they lost just because it's such a narrow field. It's hard to get anything done. They're going to win fights where they have to contest a point. At a tribute or when they're pushing in a keep or something. We do see Goterra getting a little bit of damage onto him. He does Eldarin's Might out of there. Now we do have the Storm Towns coming out for Puszek. It's going to be Rewind, Hardened Shield, Kung Fu Hustle, Call of the Wild Hammer, and Bolts of the Storm as Goterra is contesting these Knights. Ubrim going in for some light damage. Naraka, of course, going to avoid it. Ubrim getting pretty low right there. A good big 3-man Flame Strike, but I don't see either team still forcing the fight. It looks like it's going to be a disengage, and the next fight should be at the next tribute.
The Kung Fu Hustle is the big thing here. The longer that these fights go on, Gurdamherd is not going to win a sustained battle because the more that Kung Fu Hustle kicks in, the closer we're going to get to 2 sets of jugs, 3 sets of jugs as time goes on. And not only that, she's going to be sending out tons and tons of her healing, or her serpents, which do heal, as well as her only heals, as well as the blinds coming into that, trying to counter out a little bit there from the Leoric, from the Tassadar. It's this is a tough spot for Kinguin, looking at now a Kung Fu Hustle Lili.
Yeah, it's really tough for them to deal with. 2-level deficit as well is going to be strong to deal with, and they do end up getting that tribute. We'll have to see if they have to contest the next one, right? If they get cursed again, especially with bosses spawning, they have bottom left boss spawning in 10 seconds. Even if that boss will get a keep. With the timing of it, the tribute will be spawning soon. Either Pooch or Kinguin either needs to go contest it, or if they don't contest it, I'm afraid they're going to lose a keep. And even if they are starting to head that way to contest it, but the boss is already dead. They're going to get the boss for free and potentially be able to start a fight. And they're going to have to. What do you do here? Do you lose the bottom keep, or do you contest tribute at the top? And it looks like they're willing to contest the tribute at the top.
Well, tribute will be a curse, and if they don't contest it, they lose the keeps anyway.
Although they are going to give it up. They're going to defend against the boss.
Really? Well, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation, which is not exactly where they want to be.
Problem is though, it gives them double boss curse, right? You get bottom boss,
Yeah.
top boss, and a curse, and that's the cursed hollow dream, right? Basically secures checkmate. Now they're doing a good job of reacting to bottom boss. You know, the times were staggered enough that they were able to clear up bottom boss by collapsing on it instantly before it got any real damage onto the keep. The keep is barely going to take any damage, and that gives them time to react to top lane. But with 5 members of Puszek pushing in with a buff, this, unless the fight goes terribly poorly for them, this should be a curse or a keep here for Puszek.
Well, I mean, so you defend against the boss, you keep the keep, but you get cursed. If you contested, got 5-man wipes, and then cursed, like, there's so many variables of the
Right.
worst case scenarios right there. So it's, as I said, damned if you do, damned if you don't. We still need 20 from Kinguin, and I'm not sure they're going to get it.
Yeah, Judgment Hinterlands Blast going to secure 2 kills there. Nebsy and Invidium do get caught in that maul. Gerdamher is the only one outside of it. Tranquility hitting no one. And this is going to be a full wipe. The Tastar does end up popping that, but a big blink forward from that's going to secure 4 kills. The boss is still alive, Sean. It's got full HP. This looks like we're going to a game number 3 as Puszek is destroying the core right now. The series is going to be tied up 1-1.
Yeah, so just Puszek getting such great team fights on this battleground. I mean, not an auto attack false dead, not that you really needed it here for this one. I mean, the mage build absolutely doing wonders. There's no double tanks, nothing really to force that. But how many times did we see the small space control of Puszek just kind of coming really out strong? I mean, so many times that tributes in the corridor of death by the end of it as well. The zone control was just absolutely outstanding between the VP, between that mob, between the hinterlands. And you notice that they never really kind of screwed up the hinterlands as bad as that first one back at level 10. They definitely really, upped their communication, and they made that work. And I gotta say, I mean, that's a well-deserved 1-1 for a game 3.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with the play. Normally, like as a Malfurion, or any healer that's going up against that kind of blow-up style, this is old school style. You just have to position well against it. But when there's both a Zagara and a flanking Zeratul who can either maw you or VP you, how do you avoid both of those while being ready for the Judgment Hinterlands Blast? Like you can't. Like that composition was so powerful on that map, and it was executed beautifully by them.
Absolutely. So game number 3 hype coming at you, ladies and gentlemen, but unfortunately, I have another commitment that I do have to bow out to. So I'm going to leave you guys in the capable hands of Mr. Zoya, who's going to be telling you everything A to Z about this game. So we leave it to you, sir. I will see you guys personally tomorrow, but stay tuned now because game number 3 is going to be coming your way. And Zoya, Godspeed.
Thank you, sir.